Joined now by Mark Urbanek, caddy for Tony Finau, winners at the Rocket Mortgage 2 weeks in a row. Mark, I'm getting used to seeing you unscrewing flag sticks on 18.
Yeah, it never gets old, that's for sure. Yeah, it's
Well,
exciting stuff.
how does it feel to go back to back? Tony said in his interview afterwards he was disappointed with his finish in Minneapolis, and I don't think he meant like, "Hey, I won." He was just
Mm.
like, and that was kind of a motivator for him this week. So I guess just talk a little bit about that motivation, and then how it does feel to actually win a tournament on the PGA Tour 2 weeks in a row.
It's incredible. Yeah, I mean, for me, I think that it just kind of I kind of my mentality stays the same every week, no matter like if you won the week before or you missed a cut by 100. Like I just think the job's the same. You show up, you do the best you can to kind of accomplish your players' goals and for that day, what are we trying to do? And I think that's the way I've always approached caddy. And so, of course, like it feels different winning twice in a row, but like which is incredibly exciting, and to be a small part of that, it's really cool and rewarding. But at the same time, like it's the job's the same for us. That's kind of been the mentality that I've always had.
That's great insight. There was a two-shot swing on number 12. I got a chance to watch the back nine. Kind of you guys made birdie and Pendrith made bogey, and then I was following up Tony's only bogey of the week on number 11. I guess talk about maybe the momentum swing on that hole and where you guys were at that point in the tournament. And then in the end, he ended up winning by, 4 or 5.
Yeah, so 11 was his first bogey of the week, which was crazy. I mean, I know that he knew that, and I knew that, and obviously you're trying to win the tournament, but if you don't make any bogeys, you feel pretty confident that you're going to do all right. Yeah, I mean, just kind of we are trying to carve a 6 iron in there left to right. There's a hard right to left wind to a right pin, so it didn't kind of carve it quite enough, so it went a little longer and rolled out to the back. And it was a tough up and over putt. Just hit a little bit firm on the first, and had to putt through a bunch of sand and debris and bumps around the hole. I just didn't get the true roll that we were kind of hoping for. Obviously, we know we could move that, but it was just so much you probably weren't going to get it all anyway.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, yeah, to come back and birdie, I believe it was the hardest hole on Sunday. That pin location is really dicey with the big false front there. It's kind of a tee-ball that was playing into the wind, so you couldn't carry the right bunker. Most guys, anyway, probably couldn't carry the right bunker off the tee, so you had to kind of fit it in there, hit a great drive and nice and low, like bullet into the wind, and then hit an 8 iron exactly where he's supposed to, long right, and give yourself a look and kind of force the issue and on Taylor. And yeah, I mean the green was a little bit crustier. Like the greens were, they were great all week, but like you could kind of see yesterday there were some greens that were a little bit softer and slower than others. So it was kind of like you kind of had to really pay attention to like the level of crust on the greens. Like certain greens for sure, like he double checked with me before he hit that putt. He's like, "This looks crustier to you, doesn't it?" And I said, "Yes." So he played it about a foot faster than his putts on previous holes, and it still kind of went in with a little bit of pace, even on like a lag. So that was a huge momentum swing right there. After 9 and 12, I would say, because 9 Taylor hit it in pretty close, and we were left, and so that looked like we could have lost two. That swung two there, and instead we kind of tied the hole. So yeah, those two holes were definitely the two most important of the week for us. And we knew coming in if we took care of the par fives, we knew that they were going to be downwind. So as long as he, just hit decent drives, they're going to be around the green and reg or in two. And, if he makes four there, it's going to be really hard for anybody to catch us. So that was,
Well,
that was
we
huge.
mentioned it there. One bogey for the week. I mean, just kind of explain a little bit more. Like, obviously, Tony's hitting the shots and he's executing, but what the level of communication between you two is like, and just being on point and you doing your job, him doing his to just accomplish that. No, only one bogey for the week. I mean, that's pretty incredible.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we were very much in sync with what we were trying to do, like how he was going to attack that course. There were certain holes that we felt like you might have seen that, like hole number 6. There's a bunker off the tee that's like 310. He could certainly hit it over the bunker if he really wanted to, but we laid up short of that bunker several times during the week, and some other guys might have hit good drives there and pulled off,
Yeah.
maybe made some birdies, but I'm sure that brings in bogeys a lot more. So we felt like as good of a mid iron player as he is, we'd hit 3 wood or 3 iron off that tee a couple times, and have a little longer in, but hit in the middle of the green. That's a par hole for us. It just didn't quite fit his eye, and so stuff like that. I think we were just really very much in sync. We weren't very aggressive off like the eighth tee box, hitting 4 irons, and it just he didn't like bringing the right bunker into play off the tee. So we just tried to make it really comfortable. We hit 3 iron off the tee on 16 a bunch, just laying it back. Just don't want to try and like carve something in between them. Those bunkers are pretty penal. So I think the lesson that was learned for us was really just like, well, just the ultimate, like, play our game. And if he has a 7 iron into a hole versus a 9 iron, like, of course, like, statistically he's going to hit it closer with a 9 iron, but like, as good as he's hitting it, like, 7 iron from the middle of the fairway is still like a pretty good birdie chance for him
Mm-hmm.
when he's that as confident as he is with his irons and with his putter. So
Yeah.
I think we played our game, and it's one thing to have a game plan, and obviously it's another thing to execute it, and he did that for sure. But I think if you have a solid game plan and you don't hit shots that you're not comfortable with, and you kind of just stick to your deal, I think the odds of success are much greater, and that's exactly what he did. And he was super comfortable all week.
Yeah, Ian Baker Finch gave you guys a shout out about that, I think on Sunday. And then as CBS was going to break after Tony teed off on 18, you guys were kind of walking off the tee, head down. There wasn't any conversation, but then there was somebody said something to somebody. Do you recall that? I think there was a fist bump as well. Do you recall that
Yeah.
conversation at all?
Yeah, I do. He said I couldn't wait to hit that tee shot after last Sunday. He was very disappointed in hitting the tee ball right on 18 last week. And it was really like the only bad shot he hit last week, like as far as a driver goes. So he was so on. So it was just really kind of an awkward shot at a weird time. Obviously we had a big lead, so it wasn't a big deal. We just kind of take a step back and just make our six and get out of there. But yeah, he couldn't wait to get to that tee, and I thought that was really cool that was totally on his mind. And he said, I couldn't wait to get to that tee and hit that and execute that tee shot perfectly, where you have kind of an awkward looking tee shot for a guy that likes to fade it. You get a big trees down the left and trouble down the left, and you have wind off the right, kind of blowing it over there. So it's like, yeah, he couldn't wait, and I thought that was really cool. I was really, it was just kind of a special moment, between him and I, I thought that was just really, really neat, and I was proud of him to kind of like have that, like the fact that he had that in his mind all week was just driving him all the way to the end. I just wanted to get to that tee with a lead so he could pump it down the middle. That's pretty cool.
Nice. That was cool. Well, congrats again, Mark.
Thanks so much. Yeah, appreciate you, big guy.